Hi guys, JB and Minot here, and these are my end of May pickups for 2019. This is 1st of June. I'm going to start with some NES games. This one is Kabuki Quantum Fighter. I've heard about this game from other pickup videos, and this one cost me 28 bucks. I only got it because I got my income tax refund a few weeks ago. Plus, I've gotten extra overtime, so that's good. But anyhow, this is basically a platformer where you're playing this fighter, and he fights people with his fists when he's down, but when he's up, he flashes his hair at them. It's pretty difficult, but pretty the music is great in this game, but it's kind of hard. So here's a twin shooter or a helicopter shooter, Twin Eagles. What's that? By Romstar. And here is a Rambo game. This is basically a platformer with the Rambo character in it. It's not a Contra type game. It'd be nice if it was, but it's not. So that brings my NES collection up to, I think, 171. Maybe I'll start a Twitch channel on it, get Elgato, figure out a way to do retro stuff so I can get through my backlog. Anyhow, here's my 752nd Nintendo DS game. Scooby-Doo, the Spooky Swamp. This looks like a touch and click type adventure game. And now I got a boatload of Nintendo Switch games. So let's go ahead and get started. Haven't played them all, but I've played a few of them. Assassin's Creed Remastered. This has actually got a second game on there from the Vita. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. And I think it's actually got that second game on there. Unlike the Resident Evil Origins game, which has one physical game, and it's got a download for the second one, but tries to trick you into thinking there's two games on there. This one's got the Assassin's Creed 2, or Assassin's Creed 3. I'd love to see, I like Assassin's Creed, but they've come out with too many of them. I'd like to see Assassin's Creed 4 with the ships, steering the ships. There's a funny story about this one. I knew D Blob 2. This is D Blob 1, remake of the classic, I think, PS3 game. But I knew that D Blob 2 had come out. I had no idea until a couple weeks ago that this came out on physical. This is an excellent game. You're basically in this town, and it's taken over by a bunch of Nazi types who paint the town gray. And what you have to do is you have to face challenges and paint certain parts of the town certain colors. Red, blue, yellow, and sometimes you got to mix them to make purple and green and whatnot and orange. And you have to color each part of the town to open up each part, and that's how you defeat them. And it's a pretty fun game. It's a great game. This one's kind of, I'm trying to think of what, it's Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arena. It kind of reminds me of another game where you're attacking these big monsters, and you can climb on top of the monsters and kill them. And I'm trying to think, Shadow of the Colossus. That's what this game kind of reminds me of, only not as dickish so far. I tried to play Shadow of the Colossus at one time, and I couldn't stand it because the camera was just so awful. That's a game that needs to be remade. But this game's pretty fun so far. Battle Worlds Chronos. I got this for 30 bucks at GameStop. It's a tactical strategy game with hexagons instead of squares, and it's almost like a tabletop game, science fiction. Grip is a car battle game. You can go at weird different angles with the game. It's a battle game. Cube 2. This is from Super Rare Games, which are usually unless you get them right when they open up, are very expensive. This one was only about 56 bucks. That's why I got it. It's a puzzle game, and basically you're stranded on this island, and you go through this island, and there are different buildings, I guess, and you can change some of the cubes to green, blue, and red, and each one has a different function. It's a puzzle game at heart. Haven't played through it yet. but it's gotten good reviews. Yoshi's Crafted World. People complain that this is an easy game. I don't think it's so easy, but it's still a fun game. What's fun is you go through the levels. Getting through the levels is kind of easy. But what's really fun is when you go back to find different items and whatnot and to complete the levels. And it's a hand-drawn game that looks like, everything looks like yarn. Not yarn, but felt and stuff like that. Kind of like Tearaway for the PS Vita. I think it's a fun game. I enjoy it. Some people say it's too easy. Right now I'm playing Sniper Elite 3 for the PS4, or trying to. But this is Sniper Elite V2 Remastered. And I like the Sniper Elite 3 so far. The problem is it features a lot of stealth action. And I was hoping for more sniper action. But it's pretty fun, and I hope this is fun too. But there's that. They actually got version 3 coming out for the Switch in a couple of months. My Hero Wants Justice. This is an adaptation of an anime game. It's a fighting game. It's from an anime. It's got the anime characters in it. It's gotten pretty good reviews. They say it's kind of simplistic, but okay. Here's a simple Dynasty Warriors game. Speaks for itself. Warriors Orochi 4. I never know the difference between Dynasty Warriors, Dynasty Tactics, and Warriors Orochi, unless it's different characters, really. But there's so many of them out there. This is a great game I bought online. There's so many great games online that aren't limited run. They're just under the radar, that they don't sell at GameStop or any of the game stores, that you can get online. 88 Heroes, 98 Heroes edition. Basically, what you do is you have 88 heroes at your disposal, and then you don't pick which heroes go through it, but you got to go through each of these different rooms with different traps. And in each room, they give you a different hero. If you can get through that, you try to get through that room without that hero getting killed. Once that hero gets killed, another hero pops up. Sometimes the heroes, each hero has a different power. Some can jump, some can fly, some have no powers at all, and you never know. But you're trying to get through it with all your heroes intact. And there are 98 levels, I guess 10 bonus heroes. And yeah, it's a great game, a very fun, quirky game. It's a blast to play. It's kind of like, reminds me, the tone is a lot like WarioWare. You know, because you got this villain watching on the screen. And the graphics are pretty nice. They're pixelated graphics, but they're still fun. It's a blast to play. If you can enjoy it, get it. Gear Club Unlimited. Apparently this was popular enough to spawn a sequel. These are still pretty expensive. I got this one at a independent game store. At GameStop, it's still pretty expensive. There's that. Okay. I like this game better than Tales of Vesperia, which I'm trying to get into, but I can't really get into it. It feels simplistic. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. I actually like this game. The graphics, of course, are beautiful, and it's a fun game so far. I haven't gotten very far in it, but I enjoy it. It's not as simplistic and feels a little more complex, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Here's a great game from, I think Nintendo had a version of it, and Game Boy definitely had a version of it in black and white. It's called Penguin Wars, and it reminds you of air hockey, but what it is, you got a penguin on each side of a board. And each penguin has 5 little balls that they have. And what they do is they move across the board back and forth, throwing balls at each other, trying to hit the other guy. That's basically the simplicity of it. And I guess you can evolve as you play each game. Cute little game. And I got it at GameStop used. You can't. Some of the games at GameStop you have to only get online, which is pretty weird. This is a prequel to Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek. A lot of critics didn't like that game because they didn't give you any clues as to how to solve some of the puzzles. But apparently it was popular enough to spawn a sequel, so there's that. This came cheaper than the first one, quicker. Okay, For the King, it's a tactical RPG type game, tabletop game. It's very colorful. It's got all the DLC on it. Haven't played it yet. But I like tabletop. I don't play them a lot, but I do like the idea of tabletop games. Opus Collection. The Day We Found Earth, and Rocket plus Whispers. This is basically you're in charge of a telescope and kind of a point and click type thing, and you're trying to find new worlds with that telescope. And I guess you can upgrade the telescope, and you're trying to find. I guess you're in outer space, and you're trying to find Earth from that telescope. And it's I haven't played it, but it's gotten really good reviews. So I look forward to playing this. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. This is actually a prequel to Xenoblade, the first Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I haven't played, but this is a full-blown game. It's not just a DLC. It was cheaper than the other ones, so I went and got it, and I waited until the price went down. Okay. A lot of critics don't like this game for some reason, but I've never played the Trials game. I guess they originated on the Xbox. Trials Rising. It's got all the DLC, I think, all the extra stuff. I got that for cheap at Walmart. About 30 bucks, I think. Okay, Air Conflicts Collection. Air Conflict Secret War and Air Conflict Pacific Carriers. This is like a World War II aircraft fighting game. I apologize for the glare ahead of time. The sun's out, so there's that. This War of Mine, Complete Edition. This is kind of a dark game. It takes place after an apocalypse. What you have to do, and it's a from a side-scrolling view, is you have to collect scraps with other people. You have to ally yourself with other survivors. In the meantime, there are other survivors trying to kill you. During the day, you got to collect all kinds of scraps and stuff to defend yourself, and you upgrade and whatnot. And sometimes you have to make decisions on who's going to live and who's going to die, etc., etc. And I don't know if I'm looking at the camera or what, but I'm looking at the side of the camera. I'm sorry about that. Atelier Lua, the Scion of Arland. It's an Atelier game. There's lots of these out there. So some stand out, some don't, from what I understand. Hollow Knight, a platforming game, which is very popular. I didn't get no special edition of that. I never do. I got this from Walmart for 19 bucks. All-Star Fruit Racing. It's a Mario Kart clone with fruit racing, and you're throwing fruit and whatnot, driving really bright. It looks like a really bright game, but the graphics are kind of cheesy. You kind of look like Nickelodeon graphics. Okay, this is a fun game. Disgaea 1 Complete. It's a remake of the old Disgaea game. It's really complex, but you wouldn't know it until you play it. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it so far. Here's a game that's kind of like Puyo Puyo Pop with Nicalis characters. Nicalis, Cave Story. You got Astro Boy. You got the Binding of Isaac in there. You're dropping crystals. You're matching 3, trying to destroy the other character, and it looks a lot like Puyo Pop. And this one's got one of those 4x4 cube puzzles in there, but there's that. Blade Strangers, another game from Nicalis, which features Nicalis characters, The Binding of Isaac, and Cave Story, and Code of Princess, characters from Code of Princess. And it's a simplistic fighting game. They say you don't need to know any special moves, but it's still just as complex. And these games are always bright and fun from Nicalis. They love good graphics. They're always nice. Okay, here's a couple of games. Lapis times Labyrinth. It's a side-scrolling labyrinth fighting game that you go through and you make all kinds of money. The more money you make in that labyrinth, the more combos you can use to beat the bad guys in the labyrinths. And I guess once you get killed in these labyrinths, your money's all gone. It starts all over again. But there's that. It's got really good graphics. Haven't played it yet, but this comes with some posters, a soundtrack, a collector's box, and 2 art prints. The only reason I got this was because this is the only one that it really comes in. So, Citus Alpha. I guess there's a game out there called Citus. It's a touchscreen type rhythm game, and it's really kind of weird. The weird color, it's gray color, and it's a rhythm game with a touchscreen. I think you can use the buttons too, but it's got a lot of electronic music. Okay, I figured those are my pickups for the month of May. That puts my my PS excuse me, my PS not my PS, but my Nintendo Switch collection up to about 186. One of these days I'm going to do a whole collection video. What I want to do is maybe start running a Twitch channel where I play some of these games online for the first time for you to see, so that it gives me an incentive to go through all my backlog. Anyway, maybe I'll call it the Old Fart Plays Video Games. Anywho, I hope this killed a good 15 minutes of your time on a Saturday and Sunday, and I hope you all have a great weekend. In the meantime, God bless. Bye-bye.